forces and councils, including the Task Force MSME, the Ministry of Finance, the Board of Governors, Institute of Corporate Affairs, the Governing Council, the Institute of Company Secretary, and Senate Committee on Secondary Markets. We now have a special address by Mr. Gopal Krishnan.
Thank you very much. I thank Indian Institute of Internal Auditors for giving me this opportunity and invited me on this program. This is my second program, and the overwhelming response I found in the Chennai, same I find here. So I must congratulate the organizers, Siddheshwar Bhallaji, Umaji, and Bharat Gargji, and all the team for this successful event. Thank you very much. I would also acknowledge my co-speakers, Shri Stephen Coates and Suresh Narayanji. Friends, I would like to say, because it's my job to communicate what the government is doing, what is the vision of the government, how they want to work in the future. It's my job. And it is also important for businesses to align with the government policies and thoughts, etc. The theme of today's 2-day seminar is trends and innovations and how businesses move. And when anybody is working in any business environment, he has to understand what are the initiatives, what are the areas where the government wants to focus. And if we align our businesses, our organization to those priorities of the government, the vision of the government, which are the areas which can grow in future, that's where our success in the business is involved. My experience with the business community and the government has been that at times, the third point that I would like to mention is about the narratives. The participation of the business community in the government policies, the agenda which the government want to pursue, that is also very important. That the business community, etc., or those who understand business, finance, and economics, they all should come to one platform, discuss about the government policies, initiatives, where are the areas where our economy can move, and that is also very important for future alignment. And I think this 2-day seminar will help into these areas. What I would also like to mention is some points Mr. Narayan said is that the big focus of current situation and the growth in the economy is about the digital economy. Digital India initiative is a very important initiative which has created a great success story for India. And when this Digital India initiative started in around 2014-15, people were saying that digital payment, technology, internet, considering the situation in India, the having large population in India, rural population in India, remote geographical difficult areas, at that time, how this digital penetration will be successful in India. But if we see today, Digital India is a success story for the government and for the country. And I would also link one point more in this, that when India became independence in 1947, that time we chose a political democracy, universal franchise. At that time also people had some kind of apprehension that India is lacking in education, India is a poor country, so much large population, the democracy will not be successful in India. But today we see India as a very vibrant democracy where universal franchise is a successful story. We have seen successive elections and we have seen successive changes in regime, and democratical institutions have survived all turmoils, challenges even in the big challenge of 1975. Similarly, the same apprehension this time was there with the government, particularly with the Prime Minister, but he was confident that considering the civilizational concept, the entrepreneurship zeal, the knowledge base of the country, the genetic configuration or genetical growth of the country, our digital penetration, digital India's project will be successful, and we see this is an important point. Because I've been given a 10 minutes time, I will just take 2-3 important part on this. So the first important part that I would like to underline, that Digital India is an initiative which will further be propelled by the government. Where in this budget also there are many initiatives which will support penetration of internet into the remote areas, to the panchayat areas, like digital currencies, then more app-based application for coming out with solution for the service industries, etc. So even a lot of funds have been allocated on artificial intelligence and fintech startup. Great initiative and expenditures are taking place, and Prime Minister has been always saying that for any problem, find out a technological solution, and through innovation, better services, you have to move ahead. And he is saying that 2 areas which will propel our future growth is, one is knowledge economy, under which all these digital initiatives will come, whether it is green hydrogen initiative, solar energy, so many apps, etc., CoWIN, etc., many initiatives. So knowledge economy, IT sector, hardware, chip manufacturing, all these areas will create a good future for India's economic growth. And here is the area where India has a good potential, and we should all work towards growth areas in this. So I think the future trend of Indian economy, in one part is knowledge economy, where a lot of government initiative will come, lot of funds are being allotted, 5G technological labs are being built, the academic industries connect is being established, IPR ecosystems are being strengthened. So this is one area. The initiative like GST, initiative like GEM, trades, virtual assessment, and the initiatives in fintech like coming out with RuPay card, then our domestic settlement systems like alternative to SWIFT, etc. These are the areas I think the future trends will come forward. The second important part that the government vision of the Prime Minister is on India's growth will come from the cultural economy. And in the G20 initiative, you will find a lot of initiative from the government where cultural economy is one area where the government is working, and in future also in this 4-5 years, lot of effort and support will come from the government on cultural economy side, because Prime Minister thinks that India is well poised for art, culture, festival, music, dance, architecture, and tourism. Here, big investment from the government will come in the infrastructure side, hotels, roads, railways, airports, freight corridors. All these infrastructure will be built. 50 destinations have been identified for creating tourist destinations, which will be center for cultural economy, like Kashi corridor, Mahakal corridor, Ayodhya, then in Tamil Nadu, etc. A lot of initiatives are doing. More and more areas the state governments have been asked to identify which have the potential for creating a cultural economy growth for India. So this is the second part that I wanted to underline. On the vision side, the third point that I want to underline is, if we talk of the vision of the government, our government is very well confident that strong economy can only propel India to the leadership, global leadership status that we want to achieve in 2047. And for that, we need a very strong economy. If India has to grow, if India has to take the leadership across the globe, it has to become an economic superpower. And in this Amrit Kal, 75th year of our independence, this 25 years are the golden period for Indian economy. So it is our good luck that we all are part of that economic ecosystem, and that confidence, that connectivity or collective will, collective zeal to achieve that target is required, where the government will give full support to business and industry community. We are not shy of our association with business community, etc. The second point on the vision of the government, the next point that I would like to say is the government is committed, particularly the Prime Minister, that we will create a corruption-free ecosystem. Because he says that in the democracy, the corruption, India had seen growth, but due to corruption and leakages, whether in the tax collection or service delivery of the schemes, etc., the corruption has harmed democracy, institutions, and the welfare of the people. So we have to fight and finish corruption at any cost. And in that, the compliance, increasing the compliance cost or increasing the risk factor for where, if you see the actions taken by the different in the agencies, etc., you will see the target and focus of the government is increase the risk for the people to indulge into corruption. This is one area where a lot of effort is being done. If I will not go into detail, but law changes in the laws, etc., are initiated where cost of corruption will be increased, the cost of risk of any indulging in any kind of corruption will be increased, and so that people just are not getting into any kind of these activities. So there is a transparent ecosystem, level playing field, etc. This is and the another point that the government vision is create an enabling environment. If this is a organization being done by this today's for by Women Forum, the in 14th March there was an International Women's Day where Prime Minister also talked about many things. The empowerment of women, gender is an important area, and for that the empowerment requires an enabling ecosystem. The government can only create an enabling environment, and and also there is a clear-cut thought that government should get out of business. There is no need to continue getting into business. We have to create an enabling corruption-free ecosystem, use of technology, that is important part. Prime Minister has said at many point in time that more governance and less of government is the talk of the thought of the government. Efficiency in delivery. There are so many initiatives that people all know that how social welfare schemes are being delivered in efficient manner, targeted manner, in a push model, etc., and use of technology is being done. Another point that I want to mention here, particularly here, is about the participation of the people in the policy making. Coming out with SRO concept, I also mentioned in the last lecture, was that as more and more self-regulatory organizations will be supported and developed. That is one thing that I wanted to mention. The last area that I would like to put underline here is on the new trends and requirement that businesses will face. This is my understanding of what my interaction with the government or stakeholders or at the different levels is, that if Indian economy is to grow, we have to integrate our economy more and more into regional and global supply chains. So government will go for free trade agreement, etc., particularly with European countries, US countries, and other developed, even Australia, we have signed an a free bilateral trade agreement, UAE, etc. Here, if we integrate our manufacturing and other areas to these economies, our growth in the manufacturing sector will come. So this global and regional supply chain integrating Indian economy is a area where focus will be there. On inter and the trend will be because of this integration, the international laws. India is lacking in capacity building. The government find that we have a lack on the knowledge and understanding of international law, because more and more our industries are getting integrated into international businesses. That arbitration, the cases of arbitration or international court of justice, all these areas require a lot of knowledge base from the people, skill in these areas. So this is one area where a lot of growth can come. And issues like base shifting, profit erosions, more and more laws will come, more complicated laws will come, which can create certain harassment if there are issues on this areas. So I think these are some of the areas that I wanted to underline here. ESG is one area which Ms. Narayan ji and others have also pointed out. These can be used at the global platforms for creating trade barriers also, carbon emission, etc. So we have to prepare, because I am also a chartered accountant at the institute level also. We have to prepare our balance sheet to incorporate provisions where ESG compliance, carbon emissions can be environmental costs, etc. are internalized into our balance sheets, etc. Because if we are not prepared on these things, then these can act as a trade barriers into in our product and services at the global level. So the trend is moving on these compliances. The non-financial barriers will be an important area of the integration of our business at the global level. So these are some of the points that I wanted to mention in my allotted times. The focus of the government is on two areas: knowledge economy and cultural economy, where the growth will come. Corruption free environment, more and more compliances, transparent and level playing field is an area. Create an enabling environment for the businesses to grow and be pro business, pro industries, and have a clear cut vision and faith that if India becomes an economic superpower, then only it can achieve what we all perceive or what we expect our country to be in 2047, when we complete 100 years of our independence. Thank you.